Hi, everybody. It's Dilly Briggs from the Dilly News Rock Show on Rockers Edge Radio. And today we have an awesome interview with a gentleman from the ADL Project, all the way from New Hampshire. How are you doing today, gentlemen?
Doing good. Thank you.
Great, thanks.
Now, I know, gentlemen, that you have a recent CD that you did just a few years back, not that long ago, called 40 Years in the Future. And you
Yep.
have some amazing tracks on it. I absolutely love them. You have 8 tracks on there, which are not really the songs that we're featuring today because that's just a touch on the previous, music that you have. And this is the music that we're going to be featuring today. You have 2 new tracks that we're going
Yep.
to be featuring for everyone today. But I wanted to get a little bit of background information before we get into the music about your band. First off, the name ADL. Why the
Yeah.
name ADL? I know, but can like explain it to everybody out there why you picked the name ADL.
Yeah. It's just we were actually using the ADL as a file designation while we were exchanging files online to do the recording because we all work the concept of the songs up in our own studios, and then we send them together and then remix them, rework them, and then come up with the final idea for the song. So it was just we were calling everything ADL that we were sending back and forth, and then we were thinking about a name, and Arnie said, "Well, I think we'll go with ADL, seeing we're using it already."
Ernie Doug Lyle's what it stands for.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it stands for the names, but
yeah,
it does stick in your mind, ADL project, because then you're like, oh, what is that? What project is that? So
yeah.
it's actually
Right.
kind of something that also sticks in other people's minds as well. So I thought that was cool, and I just wanted to let people know out there why the name. So it makes it
Right.
easy for us to remember too.
Yeah, we both sing, Arnie and I. We share the lead vocals. He's singing more of the original stuff, and I've slowly been singing more and more of it. But we basically split 50-50.
Okay.
We
And
can't
of
get
course,
Lyle
you
to
can see
sing.
your drum percussionist as you got that set up right behind you.
We
Wasn't sure
can't
if you're
get
going
him
to give
to
us a
sing
little
yet.
show today. That'd be great if you want to give us a little improv show. That'd be awesome. Since we're set up for it, or you're set up for it.
Right.
Well, you're
Now,
seeing us in our recording bunkers, our separate recording bunkers.
how is the process for you going through that, having to record everything and send it all? Do you guys find that it's been a little bit harder during shutdown to have to go through that process, or has that process actually been a little easier on you?
Well, it's kind of hard. It's hard in the context that we're trying to mind read almost. When you're in the room together, you work off everybody's emotions and where they're going and everything. This we kind of, but we do know each other real well, so we kind of can do that. But it's you're second guessing it almost in a way to find out, well, where would Arnie go with that guitar part? Where would Doug go with the bass riff? You know what I mean? It's kind of that, and then they're both probably saying, and what is he gonna do on the drum?
What's Lyle going to do with this?
No,
It
and, and,
slows
and
things down a little, but it slows things down, but it's also it's easier, and I find it you can generate ideas and just sending them back and forth to see what's going to work and what isn't. And we do um, prior to the COVID, and once since we did a few gigs over the summer, but we you can see Lyle's bunker right there. But that's where when we get together, we rehearse live.
oh,
And
okay.
so we tend to work on some ideas. We don't do it a lot. Arnie lives 3 hours away. Um, I think the internet is kind of what germinated this. The ability to do our own recording is what one of the things that has actually germinated all this stuff.
Yeah, and a lot of bands, of course, have switched having to how they have to do, like you guys have, said your process. A lot of them
Yeah,
having to learn that process now as well. And I mean, and like you mentioned before, Lyle, you said you guys, really know each other.
Yep.
Kind of just getting back to that. You guys originally started and had a band in high school,
Yes, we
and
did.
but
we
you didn't
did.
stay
Yeah.
together. You kind of went on your own way, stayed in the music industry, and then came back together now to make music again. Kind of give us a little bit of background about that before we get into playing some of the music.
Well, I think all of us played in numerous bands. I mean, it was pretty weird. We all kind of see each other in passing, I guess, so to speak. We all knew everybody was doing something else. And then we had the distance thing with Arnold moving to Maine, and then he was doing bands up there also. So it's kind of a how we got back together. Really was Arnold had some contracts in one of the bands that he was in that basically broke up, and he asked us if we wanted to fulfill the contracts that he had to fulfill for the band that he was in.
Oh.
And that's kind of how we started the live end of this, anyway.
Yeah, we got together. Oh yeah, didn't mean to interrupt you, Lyle.
No, that's fine.
We played that first gig. We had already been doing recording, and getting together. I'll take it further back. Go back to the high school part. I was the newbie. Arnold and Lyle were already playing together. I think we were freshmen in high school or 8th grade. And we were all amateur budding musicians. I was doing a few different things. I was playing some drums and some piano and some acoustic guitar and singing with some guys and in chorus and all that stuff. And I had known Arnie from grade school. We were great friends, and the three of us and Lyle, we hooked back up in high school. And they said, well, we're jamming at Lyle's after school. You want to stop down? And I thought, sure. You know, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'd love to come down. Lyle had a room in the basement, pretty well soundproof that his dad had built for him, which I thought was amazing.
Nice.
And I got down there, and the two of them started playing some pretty advanced stuff. And Lyle, of course, was and is a wizard on the drum kit. And, you know, me being an amateur drummer, he probably doesn't remember this, but he played for a while, and he went to hand me the sticks. He said, you want to play? And I said, no way in hell. I'm not sitting down there. And, of course, I was doing nothing. And he said, you ever play bass? And I said, no. And he had a Gibson bass in the corner. He said, well, grab that and try it. So I got it, and Arnold, when we tuned it up, Arnold showed me a couple riffs. And about 3 hours later, we crawled out of the basement. And I had never played bass before, and all the instruments got put on the shelf, and that's where I stayed. I just loved it. And we had that band for three years or so.
Yeah.
Had a great time, did a few gigs, played a lot of, for young guys, what I would say was very difficult music. I mean, we were kind of going for that Cream, Hendrix, Blue Cheer, Sabbath, you know, that's what we were into. We did other things, but that's what we loved. And we went our separate ways at risk. I went in the military for 4 years. Lyle got married.
Thank you for
Arnie just kind of drifted into bar bands. When I got out of the service, Arnie and I played together for a while. Then later, Lyle and Arnie played together. And like he said, we just kept moving around. And then this opportunity came up because the older we got, I think, I'll speak for myself, the more I thought, you know, the most fun I ever had playing music was with those two guys. You know, why am I doing anything else? Right? I mean, you get to a point where you say, it's got to be fun. It's got to be creative. And so that's when we started recording. We just said, hey, let's try to do this. And like I said, we just all started throwing ideas and kicking them around. And that's why all the songs are credited to all three of us. You know, one of us might start with a basic idea, but by the time we're done, it's no way that person is the writer of that song. It's not even the same. You know, it's morphed into an ADL song.
Yeah, so all three of you just automatically have that input and that collaboration, and I think it's great. First off, in case you didn't hear me, thank you for your service. You know,
thank you.
Yeah, and just the fact that you know, it's a great little story that you guys knew each other for so long, and you started in high school together, played for 3 years together before that. You know, you went your separate ways. Again, still staying in the music industry. I know you guys all stayed in the music industry, including Ernie, who's missing right now. But to be able to come back, I mean, I think it's great when you said, you know, the most fun you had to do this was when you started out with, you know, with your good friends and doing this. And what a great thing to want to come back to and then still be able to pick it up with the same guys and do it. And honestly, I'm really happy you did, because the music I've been listening to, the songs that you have, again, for the previous CD, so people can go back and get the previous CD. It is called 40 Years in the Future. They've got 8 amazing tracks on it, some really great music, some great rock you just want to really get into. And I do love the fact that you also not just have your own music out, but I love the fact that you also do covers as well. So you're not a cover band, you're not of like specific like that, and then you just do your own music, that you have your music, but you'll also still play so that people can kind of get that little bit of both.
Right.
When they see you, they get a little bit of that
Right.
extra bonus rock music that you're going to play for them that they already know and love from previous, along with hearing your new music. So I love that you guys do both and you kind of mix that in there. But of course, the CDs is, that we're talking about is your own original music. And
Right.
then the new tracks that you have now, the two new tracks, which we're going to play for people, so that they can hear that as well. One of them, the first one is called Rolling Thunder, and the other one is The Time Is Right. Now, on Rolling Thunder, I really love the guitar riffs and stuff after the chorus. I love that. I was so into that. It was just like, oh, you could just listen to it and get
Yeah,
into
that's
it.
Arnie.
So, it was just fantastic. So tell us a little bit about the process of that, and we'll go ahead and play one of those songs next. Before going more into more information, tell us the process of the writing on that. Just as far as the lyrics and what the story stands for.
Yeah, that song started as Doug's concept, so I think he'd probably be best to answer that. He just gave me on the drum part. He gave me a direction. He said I kind of want it to sound like this. Now whether I actually got it to sound like that or not, I'm not sure.
You went way better than what I say.
But he kind of gave me the direction how he wanted the song to be headed, and I kind of went from there. But the concept of the song was Doug's, from the concept of that song of Rolling Thunder.
Yeah, that one's not the best example of how we work, but yeah, I wrote the lyrics, I sent that out, and the riffs and the format, and I got back some suggestions. Arnie suggested a few lyric changes, which I did. Lyle took my drum track ideas and improved on them 300%. And then, of course, we decided, what's the format going to be? How many verses, chorus, this and that. We came up with the plan. And this is kind of how we work. I sent Arnie just a quick track of me singing and playing the bass, or he'll send me one of him on guitar and singing, just a work track. And then he takes it and he overdubs all the guitars, adds a harmony vocal or does the lead vocal. He'll send it back. I'll redo mine. We'll send it to Lyle. Actually, Lyle usually does the drums before I do the bass. And it goes back and forth and it moves around. And through all of that interaction, we come out with the finished product of what we're going for. I think what makes it really special for us and easy for us, and you might hear a lot of other musicians say this, your best work is always going to be when you're working with the guys who have the same influences, who hear things the same way. There's never we're an extremely democratic band. We don't have arguments. We listen to each other and we figure things out and go forward. And when we're done, we just all kind of smile that, wow, we just did that. We got to do that. So,
Yeah.
so that's how that works.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I really like the new music. Like I said, I love the new tracks, and and I already found a little favorite part in one of them already. All right, and so now we are about to play Rolling Thunder from the ADL Project here on the Dilly News Rock Show on Rockers Edge Radio. Check it out.
I know what it's like to feel the rolling thunder, rolling up the throttle to the storm that I'm under.
And once again, that was Rolling Thunder by the ADL Project. And you heard that here on the Daily News Rock Show on Rocker's Edge Radio. What a fun song. That's just something that makes you want to get up and move. I love that. Absolutely love that. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for taking the time to talk with us and, letting us know more about your music and letting the people who listen to Rocker's Edge Radio know more about you as well. So it is a privilege to get to know more different musicians and hear new music. We love to put new music out. Now, we do have another song to play, but before we do that, tell me about, you do have videos out. And so who puts the videos together for you, and who does all that editing and stuff for you guys?
Yeah, actually, my wife does all that. Her name's Roxanne. We call her Rocky. She's
Nice.
she's she's a presence at all our shows too. She does all the raffles. We held raffles when we play. We raffle off CDs, T-shirts, and anything else band related. We'll raffle off, and she basically runs all that for us. She makes all the videos, which is pretty time-consuming work. I try to give her suggestions. She takes them fairly well, but she gets her own concept of, yeah. She gets her own concept of where what she thinks it should look like, and I can add to it, but not a lot.
She's a gem. We jokingly call her our manager because she's taken over so many aspects of that without maybe from Lyle, but I don't think so. Without a lot of prodding from us, she just saw a need for these things to happen, and she just immersed herself into it.
Yeah.
And I would add that she's been around a long time. She was around in high school.
Yeah.
And I call her Lyle's first wife. she still is. Yeah, she's a pistol.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to Rocky. I mean, the videos are fantastic. You guys do a great job. Pleasing everything, so I just wanted to, touch base on that as well. And, so you guys have seen success. You guys have been around for a while. I mean, not just for, this band together, because again, you guys ventured out on your own adventures with music and stuff, and you've been around and playing a lot of music and everything. So I always like to ask artists out there, that have seen that success, what advice would you give to somebody on this path? Like if it was your younger self, and including with quarantine, things are different, but you're still out there putting your music out, and doing what you can for that. So what would you give advice to somebody else?
What I would say is don't get discouraged. It's like they say, it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. We're nowhere near the top, but
you rock and roll.
Yeah, we're rock and roll. I mean, don't get discouraged. Just listen to a lot of different influences. Don't just stick to one genre of music. Branch yourself out a little bit. Even if it's not your favorite type of music, there's a lot to be learned out there from different genres of music that you can incorporate into where you want to go with your sound.
Absolutely.
That would be my biggest advice.
Yeah, I would say I agree wholeheartedly with Lyle. I mean, we've played a lot of different kinds of music. I've studied jazz for years. I'm still in a very good blues band. We played a lot of blues, both of us. We've both studied jazz. Lyle kind of nurtured my musicianship when we were young, and he had a whole lot of influences that I took to heart. And I went back, and he was listening to Sandy Denny, things you wouldn't expect a young rock guy to listen to, which pointed me in that direction. Go back and find the source. Don't just do what you do, because everything you learn on the way adds to your musicianship. The other thing I would say is, like he said, don't give up. Don't get discouraged. And if you're with the right guys, even sometimes if there's turmoil, do your best to keep it together, because it's rare that the chemistry is the most important thing, in my opinion. We have great chemistry together, and that's what makes it work. And write your own songs. We were trying to write songs in high school. In fact, one of our songs, I can't remember which, but if Arnie was here, he could tell you. One of them is one that we were messing around with when we were 16. And he happened to, some reason he came out of this with the best memory, which I can't figure out. But he remembers.
He forgot to be here. Are you sure?
Well, no, he wanted to be. He just couldn't be here. But I would say,
Yeah.
you know, and once you start, I had some advice once from a very good friend of mine, and you know, I don't know that we're trying to make it, you know, that doesn't really exist anymore the way it used to. We're trying to satisfy ourselves and hopefully turn some people onto our music. But once you find that core sound that you have together and you start writing to it, stay with it. Even if you get a little bored with it from time to time, branch off, you know, and then bring the other elements back into the band. Um, a great friend of mine said one time, there's no secret. Do one thing, and do it really well. You know, and I think that's some pretty good advice for anybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, definitely,
And
definitely.
find a guitar player that can play like Arnold Young, because you're not getting it from us.
That's not so easy.
Oh, I mean, it's fantastic. Absolutely.
He doesn't. Yeah, he's right up there with that Jimmy Page, you know, Hendrix, kind of that early stuff. He knows that stuff back and forth all the way.
You hear that, Arnie? You're not here right now, but you're here in spirit. You know, your band members are talking about you and making sure that everyone knows about you as well. Unfortunately, you couldn't make it, you know, but I love the fact that you are bringing, you know, some of the stories up with him, and he can't rebuke nothing anyway, so he's not here.
That's
We can
right.
talk about him. It's okay. But you don't know. I think the music is fantastic, and the fact that it's good advice because, like you said, you know, play everything, you know, that you can pretty much, and show that, you know, it can show the diversity in your talent if you do branch out to different genres, that you don't stick to just one thing where then you can get stumped, you know, even for yourself, you know, if it's not,
Right.
like you said, not for everybody else, even if it's just for yourself, but you're still bringing along a lot of people who just love that type of music, and you know, you're exposing them as well to a talent that you have, and it's fantastic. And I think a lot of people really like it. I mean, I love it. I'm definitely that music person. And you know, even though we're going to cover up, you know, the parts, you know, where the music's playing, because of course for the visual part, you know, we will put up your promos, but for those that, you know, before that, I'm dancing around during the music part because I really love the music and it does move me, you know. So and
Good.
that's the purpose. It makes you want to move and it makes you want to dance. So, and at this time, everybody needs a little something to be able to have that release to. And if something at this point in time, the way life is, you know, having to be quarantined again, once again, back and shut down and things like
Yeah.
that, you know, it's nice to have that outlet. And so you are providing a service that the world needs as well, because I always feel music heals the world in one way or another. Somebody out there will need that. You know, so I appreciate that you guys have taken the time to talk to us about everything. Now we do have one more song to play for everybody here on listening on the Daily News Rock Show on Rockers Edge Radio. Once again, if you're just tuning in, we are speaking with two of the three gentlemen from the ADL Project. We just featured one of their songs, Rolling Thunder, and we're about to feature another one off of the second new track for them. This one, Time Was Right. Now, tell us a little bit about this song before we play it. Either one of you?
Well, the story's in the video. The story's in the video. It's
So I don't have a pointer, but next time I'll point to where on the camera.
This is one of Roxanne's great videos. She put the story right in the video. I mean, the lyrics are Arnie came up with the lyrics and a lot of the stuff, and then we tweaked it like we always do. And he and I kind of did a back and forth vocal like ZZ Top used to do sometimes. Another of our great influences, obviously. We wear that one on our sleeve proudly. It's really
I could hear a little influence of them.
It's about the early 70s. It's literally about the early 70s and some events that took place on a regular basis. I'll say no more. Well,
Right.
see, he's being quiet. He's the
He's like,
smart
it's like don't tell. Remember?
Yeah, he's telling all our secrets.
Yeah. It's still a little cryptic, but
I'm all figuring it out, you know, writing it down. They said this, and then they said I'll go later on, and they said this. Okay, so once again, we're gonna go ahead and play that, and then we're gonna be right back, and then we're gonna, you know, so that we can tell, you know, everybody where they can find you and where they can follow your new ADL projects coming out and things like that. So once again, this is Time Was Right. And from the ADL Project, this is their second new track that they just came out with. And you're going to be working on a third CD, correct? Or you're going to be just putting some tracks out right now, just individual?
Yeah, we hope to be working on a third one. Yeah.
Okay. So these are ones that you'll probably feature on the third one then, but these are the new ones that you are coming out with for them then. You got a name for the new CD yet?
These are on the new CD. These songs.
Okay. Is there a name for the new CD yet? Or not yet?
Ask me that. Oh, the new one, the last one, yeah, but
no. Yeah, I mentioned the new. I'm sorry. I know sometimes a little hard when it's on Zoom because there's a few of us talking, and then every now and then there's a little pause, so we're not sure which. I was just asking if there is a title for this new CD that's coming out, since these are the new tracks that you're working on that are going to be featured on it.
Yeah, no, we haven't got a title. When we start putting the songs together, something will generally stick in our mind as this is kind of represents what the CD's about. We do have some songs that have a theme. They're not, we tend to sing about things, even if it's just about us and our past experiences, but also about what we see going on around us, like any artist, musician. Okay. Without being too preachy.
Oh no, I get it. And again, the name of this track is called "Time Was Right," and that actually sounds like a great title for an album too, because time is right, right? Well, that's what we're gonna play here, ladies and gentlemen. So check it out. All right. And once again, if you're just tuning in, that was The Time Was Right by the ADL Project. And we are speaking with two of the members. We are speaking with Doug and we are speaking with Lyle. So I mean, again, once again, I mean, the music I found it's very fun. It's very energetic. It really puts you in a good mood. And I really like that because sometimes you just need that good mood. And even like you said, the words, the lyrics is, the time was right. It's just to get together, and friends for life type of thing and just having that good time and and your music really does represent that type of style. And I admit I am that 70s babies. I love that style of rock. I do. I mean, we took my young adult son to go see ZZ Top just so many years back. It's like, no, you don't understand. You have to go see these people live. You have to see their legends. So I mean, if you have a chance to see certain legends live, then do so. So, and I can, like I said, I can hear some of the influence, like you said, your 70s. Well, I'm a 70s baby, and I just think it makes that great, fun mix that you guys really put that out there.
Thank
And
you.
All
again,
right, thank you.
I appreciate that you came on and took the time to speak with us and to let us know more about you. Now, before we close out, though, is there anything that I didn't mention? Anybody you want to give a shout out to? Anybody you would like to say something about, or a special thank you, or somebody that you've worked with before? Just before we let people know where they can follow you.
I give a shout out to Rocky. That's all. She does a lot of work for us. Our quote unquote general manager, and a shout out to Arnie because he couldn't make it today. Awesome guitar player, awesome friend, awesome bandmate. Doug too. I mean, I couldn't ask for two nicer guys to play with. Even tempered, super talented, and want to thank you for having us on your show. This is a great opportunity for us to reach more people, and we really appreciate you doing that. As far as finding our stuff online, basically, if you punch in the ADL Project Band online, we should come up. Our music's available on Spotify, Amazon, and go to our website. If you ADL Project Band website, everything's right there. You can jump everywhere from there onto the Facebook. We have a Facebook storefront where you can buy our merchandise. I think that about covers it.
Yeah, everything he said.
What did I just say?
Perfectly.
Okay, well, and I thank you too, gentlemen. Again, I appreciate the fact that that when you reached out to us, we heard the music and checked out the music. I was like, oh yeah, we definitely gotta, get something going, and and thank you also for taking the time with the scheduling. It's crazy right now with shutdown, everybody working from home, and then all the schedules are a little different. Of course. And then, there is a big time frame. I am, in the States, I am in California, and you're from Maine, New Hampshire, correct? You're still out there. So,
Yeah, well, I'm actually in Vermont.
Vermont, okay.
Arnie's in Maine, but Vermont and New Hampshire are like two sides of a coin.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, so I mean, I'm not too familiar myself out there with the geography out there, but I know, I mean, we're working with different time frames as well. Sometimes there's 3 hours difference, 4 hours difference, things like that. So I appreciate the fact that that you took the time to work with the schedules and everything like that too. So once again, everyone, if you're just tuning in, we're featuring new music from the ADL Project. We were speaking with Lyle and Doug, two of the three-piece hard rock band that we were just featuring. They do have previous music out. They have a previous CD out called 40 Years in the Future with 8 great tracks. So check that out, buy that CD, you're going to love it. It's a great, like, hearty CD, just something really fun, along with these 2 new tracks. Follow them on all their platforms, make sure to check them out. Is there anything you want to say before we close out, gentlemen?
No, just to thank you again. It's a great opportunity, and we really appreciate you doing it.
The second CD is out. We're working on the third. So thanks a lot for everything, and we really appreciate it. At this stage of our life, it's kind of unexpected, and it's really nice.
Well, again, I don't think music has no age. As far as I'm concerned, music has no age. So like we were talking about the 70 influence. Yet we took my young adult son to see ZZ Top, and now he's got all of their music in his phone. You know, so it knows no age. It just needs the introduction to the people out there to get to know it. And, you know, I'm very happy to be able to help bring some of your music out there to more fans to get to hear you and listen to you and follow your stuff. So once again, everybody, make sure to follow the ADL Project. And you've heard them here on the Daily News Rock Show on Rockers Edge Radio. Some of it is still featured on chaoticradio.com as well. And don't forget, come back for more.